Oh yes, sorry, I had the camera around the wrong way, so I had to start again. Out of practice. Just wait for people to realise that the other one has stopped and we're on this one. So say hi if you found me again. Sorry about that. My brain wasn't in gear at all. Hi Marie. Hi Gloria. Hi Jane. Hi Lou. Janice. Okay, so we'll make a start because you're picking up that I've started again. So sorry about that, those at miss. I got the camera around the wrong way. I think it's been about six weeks or so, maybe even longer since I've done a live. I've been so busy. Although I've got loads to do today, I thought we'd sneak one in for ahead of the shows tomorrow on Hochanda. So as you can see from the packaging, we're dealing with Memory Box, and this is my second set of shows with Memory Box. Happy to represent them again, which is lovely. So obviously we're heading towards February and love, and so we've got a few kind of heart themed dies on the show, but we've got lots of other stuff on there as well. And it's not just about love, Valentine's Day, is it? It's about any time you want to have a heart. Now, I'll just quickly run, while people are joining, I'll just quickly run through what we've got on the show. I'll do it as quickly as possible, hopefully quicker than the guys get down the counter. So these are quite interesting, actually. And I don't know about you, but I'm absolutely rubbish when it comes to new dies. They don't actually... I don't look at them closely and think, oh, that's going to do that. So anyway, it does show on the packaging here that you're going to get decorative pierced detail on the outside of the die cut. Well, of course, I didn't realise that. So obviously you're going to get your dies. I think these came on a magnetic sheet, but don't quote me on that. If you cut them, they're going to cut into the card like that, and they're going to give a beautiful scallop detail, and that is the case with every single size in the set. But your actual die cuts that cut out are all going to be plain hearts, and these are all fat hearts, so you're going to get 4 sizes of hearts from this particular set. Now, if you were to layer all the dies up and cut them all together, you'll get obviously the pierced detail on the outside of your outer one, and then all of your frames are going to have detail on the kind of inside bit here of the frame, because you've obviously cut that die cut out of there, and obviously the smaller one you're still going to end up with that. So if you layer all the dies up together, you're going to get this set of die cuts. If you cut them all separately, you're going to get that set, and you're going to get a detail on the outside of every one of these. Obviously, I didn't want to use that much black card. So that's that one. So that's your scallop pinpoint loving heart cutout, which is quite a mouthful, actually. Try not to lose everything. I'm hopeless at the moment. Turn around and I've lost something. So this is your second one. This is your double stitch happy heart cutout, which is another mouthful of a name. This does exactly the same thing, but this is going to give you a double stitch detail on the outside of every single die cut, and it's a slightly different shape. You can see it's a narrower heart. It's not as chubby as the other one. I know exactly, well, I don't know what it, no, shut up, Julia. Anyway, so these are your plain die cuts that you're going to cut out. Then you obviously, if you cut into the card, you've got that lovely double stitch detail on the outside, and these are your frames that you would get if you stack them all up together. So that's another set. So you've got 2 different heart sets. Then you've also got this one, which is your crystal heart. This is just a single die. And when that cuts out, that's going to be cut out like that. I would suggest actually that you use double-sided adhesive on these very fine dies to get them to stick, because otherwise your glue is going to show. I think on this one I did actually glue it because obviously it's just the sample that's going to be displayed on how it cuts. But not all double-sided adhesive sheets are actually born equal. For me, the Elizabeth Craft Designs adhesive that Hochanda have is the one. Obviously Els does this sort of thing all the time with their adhesive on the back. Some of them don't cut. It's not, you don't have to worry if it don't cut all the way through, but what it doesn't do is separate your card on your die cuts from the adhesive, and it's just a mess anyway. So use the Elizabeth Craft Designs, that's what I would say. So that's your crystal heart. Then you've got a sprinkle heart collage border. Now, don't be fooled by this kind of sample that I've got here, because it doesn't actually cut out of the card. It just cuts into the card. So if you wanted to make yourself a background, you can multi-cut and have lots of runs of the die going across, which I have done for a demo. And you do get some full hearts that come out, which you can use in your shaker cards as well. And all the sizes are written on the backs. For example, this is 1 by 1 inch by 1 by 5.3 inches. Oh yeah, 1 inch wide and 5.3 inches tall. All the centimeters on there as well. So if you want to know the sizes, then just ask and email into the studio. This is lovely too. They're all lovely. Your knotted diamond background, and that cuts like that. Again, very, very fine lines. If you do cut this with double-sided adhesive, obviously you're going to be able to paper piece back in really easily, and it does look fab paper pieced. If you wanted to, you could cut it in, say, watercolour card, and just nip off the edges and actually ink through and use it as a stencil if you wanted to. So that one's really nice. And that one is 3.1 by 4.1 inches, so roughly 3 by 4. This one, we did have, when I did my previous show, we did have one of these pinpoint plates on before. We had the snowflake one. And this is just a burst, as it says. And when that's cut out, that's like that. And you can see, oh, I've got a black bit, yeah, I've got a black bit of card here. Hang on a sec. I don't know if you can see the black underneath there. It's a proper pin. You can see through it. You know, it's tremendous, absolutely tremendous. I really like that one. That's one of my favourites. Then we've got the knotted circle wreaths. Now, these I think have been on before when Leonie's done a show. I think this is probably one of the only ones on the first 2 shows that's not a new one, but it does work very well with all the other stuff on the show. Then we've got a load of sentiments. We've got sending love, and my eye is missing. There is an eye. You do get an eye, but it keeps on. I keep on losing it. So we've got sending love. We've got big hugs, and this one's got a shadow on it. So obviously on this one, you can use the smaller die or the finer die on its own, or you can put it on a backer, and it looks like that, which is really nice. We all need a big hug, don't we? We've got loads of hugs here. This is obviously a bigger hugs die, and this, if you cut it out, you're going to get obviously nice big letters. But if you're sensible, the waist will actually give you the word as well. So you've got a positive and a negative with this one, which is really cool. And again, you could paper piece that back in if you wanted to. You could put in different colours of the main letters if you wanted, which would be quite nice. Then we've got thanks, and thanks is in a circle. Not a lot I can say about that, but it's very nice. Again, you can paper piece in the different colours on the outside of the background if you wanted to. Then we've got a couple of stamp and die sets, and these were very popular. Not this particular one, but when we had some sort of autumn themed ones and Christmas ones in the last show. The 2 dies that you get in the kit are going to cut out these 2 flower sprays. Obviously you can colour them in, and lots and lots of sentiments on here. Wishing you all the happiness in the world. Together is my favourite place to be. Sending some very special hugs your way. There's another scripted hugs there. Let all that you do be done with love, and life is better with friends. And that's an A5 stamp set. I think there's the option just to buy the stamp set on its own, and then there's the option to buy the dies as well. And then finally, on the first two shows, we've got another stamp and die set. Let's just fetch these dies out of here. And this is your Crystal Lingo. Let's get a piece of white card so you can see what it's like. So this is a huge stamp. Now in the States at the moment, there's tall slim cards are very, very popular. I think they're like our DL. Well, they are our DL size. So that's a DL size stamp. This gives you lots and lots of possibilities. Obviously you can stamp and emboss and give it a resist and put all your sprays, your inks, your brushos, whatever you want to on top, and that's going to resist. Mica powders, luscious powders, whatever you want. You can also do some doodling there, Lou. Perfect for you, that do some doodling in there. You can also use your watercolor brush pens and do the different colors in different bits, you know, do it like a rainbow. Lots and lots of potential with that, and it's very difficult, actually, being very difficult for me to not make every single sample or every single demo with this particular stamp, because it's absolutely fab. And then also with this, the lingo part is we've got some nice big words: hello, because, loving and happy, and then we've got heart. Now all of those have got coordinating dies, which so you're going to be able to cut them out and colour them in and stand them proud from your card if you want to. And then we've also got a selection of words which are going to fit with the bigger words. So we've got I miss your face, thoughts of you, that I can count on you, I think of you often, you are special to me, and birthday to you. So obviously happy birthday to you is going to fit nicely. But obviously you can use these with any other sentiments that you've got, you know, or any alphabets that you've got. So you can have happy and you know, use an alphabet to make another word. So lots and lots of different things. So I really like that one. Very happy with that one. Okay, so that's everything that's on the first show. I'm just going to bore you a little bit longer and show you. Because the first show's at 7 a.m. So please get up. I've got to get up, so can you get up and join me? It'd be really nice to have some emails into the show to know that somebody else is up at that silly time in the morning. So yes, 7 a.m. is the first one, and then 10 a.m. and that's using the products that I've just shown you. Then we've got a different show at 1 p.m. and some of you will recognise these already. Now I've got a board of this, but as usual, I can't find it. It's been here all the time. So I've got these anyway. So we're bringing back these from the last show that I did. So we've got the pine collage, which is going to cut out like that. And where's my white bit of paper? Oh, no, it is. 5 seconds and I've lost everything. Right. White bit of paper. So, and it also has 2 extra little trees. You can see from the die cuts here, you've got 2 extra little trees. And obviously you stick your different colour foliage on. So that's that one, Pine Tree Collage. Then you've also got this one, which is your Little Orchard Collage. No, it's not that one, it's this one. Wooded Glen Collage, which is the next size down. So you can see that you could use, if you wanted to, you could use these together. Okay, which is what we did before. Obviously all the foliage gets cut out separately. Then you've got the littlest one, which is your Little Orchard Collage. And again, you can use this with that. You can use this with that if you want to, or you can just use it on its own. Okay, so there's those. Then they've also bought, where is it? This one in, these in. These are little orchard leaves, and these are absolutely beautiful. Really lovely. Nice, and they've got nice cut detail into them, as you can see from the die cut there. Really lovely. And so these are going to be we'll use these in one of the demos today, and these are going to be really useful to put with your flowers. But think about backgrounds as well. There's a really cool demo hopefully I'll get to tomorrow to show you how to do a background with that one. That's really lovely. Then this one's absolutely, yes, must have. There's so many different things that we can do with this, and I'm planning to show you 3 different things in this particular demo with that if possible. So that's your lattice plate, and that's a really good size. That's 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches, so it's a really good background size. Then again, we've got some sentiments. We've got thank you, which again has got a backer to it, or the main part. I didn't do those separate this time. A hugs, honey script, whatever that means. But again, that's got a backer and a regular one. And then we've got birthday mail. Again, this has got a little dot on it, so be careful you don't lose that. But we've got the backers on it as well. And this lovely substantial size thanks. And all these letters are separate, the top ones, the black ones. So you could actually have thanks without the backer going vertically down your card. So I really like that one too. So that's the second show. So that's on at 1 p.m. So hopefully that's given you a bit of an overview and something to think about as to what you might want to purchase, if anything. So really cool. So let's actually make something. Now where's my bits and pieces? Right. I did intend on putting all my foam tape on, but today's got away from me again already. I don't know where the time goes. I was actually up about 8 o'clock as well, so that's pretty good for me. So let's have a look. So this I did prep to do as a demo, but I prepped so many demos to do on the telly that I thought I might as well do some of them, because there's no way I'm going to get them all done. So you know me with my backgrounds. Had to do a multi-cut background. Let's put this out of the way. Right. So here, this is your smallest die in the... where is it? Smallest die in your scallop pinpoint loving heart cutout. There's no way I'm going to remember that name, is there really? The scalloped one anyway. Okay, so the smallest one, obviously we're going to have all that lovely detail around, and it's not as odious as it actually looks, this, because whenever I've cut anything else, I've just shoved this through my die cutting machine at the same time. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop it onto a piece of, this is your Sumptuous Scarlet from Sentimentally Yours. I'm going to pop it on there and give it a bit of a pop. We go for traditional kind of colours, but we'll have it, make it a little bit more zingy, I think. So what we'll do is, have I got any paper with me? Hopefully there's nothing printed on the back of it. I have to be careful. Yeah, it's fine. Because anything that's not printed properly I tend to use. Right, so we're going to add a little bit of glitter to it. So we've got a piece of double-sided adhesive sheet, and it doesn't actually matter what this adhesive sheet is. It doesn't have to be the soft stuff that cuts well through your die cutting machine, because obviously all we're going to do is stick with it. So get a pokey tool to get the back off. Gosh, how did 20 minutes go already? See, I talk too much. I think Phil said that the other day, didn't he? If anybody's watching Phil's Facebook Live. Right, so peel this off, and we'll go for, where should we put it first? That's the question. It's difficult to know, isn't it? Let's put it on the back of this one first. Make sure all my hearts are covered. So just start it off and peel it away. Give it a good old press. And we can turn this over. You make sure your craft sheet's nice and clean when you do this, otherwise you'll be picking up loads of dirt and stuff. And so use the sheet that's come off to really press those hearts in. It's been ages since I've done a multi-cut background. Actually, the last one I did was the Studio Light, so it's not that long really. Make sure that's stuck. Okay, so that's one more. Oh, I was going to show you my samples. Oh, we'll do that when we've done a demo, because otherwise you won't get to see a demo, will you? Right, I've got some lovely samples from the design team as well, so we'll be able to show those on the shows. And we're going to come in with some rainbow crystals from Sentimentally Yours, which is an ultrafine glitter. Are we doing this now? Yes, we are. Oh, brain. Oh, there's no hope for me, really, is there? Yeah, so burnish each one. I mean, that looks lovely on its own, doesn't it, without any red behind it. So the rainbow crystals, because they've got kind of an iridescence to them, and they're going to take on the colour of whatever colour you put behind it. Let's tidy up. My craft sheet's a little bit static at the moment, which is a little bit annoying. Get rid of that. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? So if we, for example, actually I've got a bit of black card here, so I can show you what it looks on black. But we're going to put it on red. So if we put it on black card, it's going to look different. Actually, it's got the backer on it, so that's... Oh! Get your brain in gear, Julia. Look, I've got loads of glitter on there. Right. Peel this backer off. I'm going to be wearing glitter for the rest of the day. See if I can get the whole end of it. There we go, we're off. So if you just do a little bit of it to begin with. I mean, we could put all sorts behind here. We could put, what's it called? Flake behind here. Which would be flake on the back and glitter on the top. That would be lovely. We could put luscious powders on the back, but do make sure you seal the luscious powders with another piece of adhesive, otherwise you're getting quite a mess. Right, so that's going on there. And there's my background all stuck to my red card. Isn't that pretty? Really pretty. Then we're going to pop our frame on. So I've used the Double Deboss Essential Rectangles for a frame. Oh, and I've got this tape that's got a horrible backing on it as well, which drives me nuts. I've complained a little bit today, haven't I? I shouldn't really. Just ignore me. My son will say it's worth it. Those in the bin, and then we'll pop these on here. In fact, we'll do it this back way, then I can get it central and make sure everything's stuck. Don't normally do it this way. There we go. As soon as you put frame on, it kind of makes it look a little bit more special. Then we get our layers on, I think. So we've got black, and we've got red, and we've got another piece of white. There's my glue. That's all right, June, it doesn't matter. You can always watch it back. All I did was I went through the products that are on the show. I need to get rid of all this glitter on my craft sheet. Right. So we've got Elegant Ebony here. See if I can get it straight. If I want to show it on the show, I've got to get a decent job here. Yes, I'll do. And then for the next layer, we give it a bit of dimension, because a bit of dimension always makes things look a bit more expensive. And this is 2mm foam tape. A little bit in the middle, because we don't want a soggy middle. There's too many of those lockdown soggy middles at the moment, isn't there? Or saggy middles. Another piece. I know I'm going to run out of time with the demos on TV. I think I've got about 8 demos done for the... No, more than that. 10 demos done for the first 2 hours. So that's not going to happen. Is it 5 demos an hour? No chance. I think I've got 6 for the 3rd hour. So that's definitely not going to happen. So we'll see. We'll see. I've got Alex for the 1st hour at 7, then I've got Adam at 10, and then I've got Alex again at 1 at the moment. Sometimes it changes. It's not the most exciting thing to do. Like I say, I was going to do all my foam tape beforehand. Oh, right. Then this is going on pure white. I think that's straight. Sorry if I've knocked the camera. It's very difficult to work around the camera. And then we're going to pop some more glue on the back of here. I think Phil's sending me some more glue. I'm nearly out of my glue. And then we pop this on here. Obviously, this has been done in any orientation, so you want to make them pretty random rather than line them up. You could line them up and that'd be a different sort of background. But there we go. That's all right, Caroline. That's fine. Now then, going to our stamps, which I've thrown on the floor. I'm going to take, let's move that out of the way a minute. Hopefully not lose it. I'm not going to actually do any die cutting because I've done it already. But what did I use? I used Loving. Now, if you find, I found that the stickies come off, it's not come off this, they're not clinging that well sometimes, but all you need is, because when you get residue of glitter or anti-static or something like that on your stamps, it won't stick. So all you need to do is just mist it with some water, dry it off, and it'll cling again. It's as simple as that. So I would dust this with anti-static, but I'm not, because I'm not going to heat set this. I'm not going to put this on. I'm using VersaFine Clair, works fine with these stamps, and we're just going to stamp Loving. There we go. And then with the dies, I put them all in the same thing, but I've just got to find them. So with the dies, that's going to just fit directly over the top of that. Seal it, you know, with some low tack tape, run it through, and then you get it and you colour it in like that. Really nice, really easy to do. So they're really easy to line up, and they're just really easy to use. So I really like them. Really like them. That's your dies. Oh, that's come off. Don't lose that one. Hang on a minute. I'll make sure I don't lose that die. Right. So, where's my card? There it is. Don't know why I'm asking you. So, the idea was we're going to just put that in here. And then we've also got, I'm not going to do this, I'm just going to show you. These little strips of card, you know when you're trimming your card, keep those, because the little sentiments that you get in the kit fit on there perfectly. So I've just stamped that with Versamark and embossed it with the Sentiment of Yours Pure White embossing powder. So Loving Thoughts of You I thought would work. But we've also got, so you could also have this little heart that comes in, I can't remember which red that is, so I'm not going to colour that in. But you could also have that. That's one of the stamps on the Crystal Lingo as well, and the little die. So cut that out. So you could have that on there. Like I say, we're not going to do that. But what I thought might work. Hang on, can't pick that up. What I thought might work is, this is one of the same set, but obviously this is the die cut, so it hasn't got any stuff on it. But what we could do, I don't know if this is going to work, because this is the same colour as the one on there. We could bring that in there, perhaps. Do you think that would work? That looks quite nice, doesn't it? See how it looks. Yeah, I quite like that. Let's... At Craft Telly doesn't work like that, Caroline, unfortunately. Or Shopping Telly doesn't work like that. They have to do their job. Now, this has actually got double-sided adhesive on the back, because I didn't really mean to have it on the back. I meant to have it on the front. So this is just a piece of waste, really. So it'd be rude to waste it. So let's pop this down on here. Let's see if I can get that. I want to get the bumpy bit straight. Let's hope that's okay. And then I've got little bits of foam tape on here, so talk amongst yourselves while I get the backs off. This is where Lottie's book comes in really handy. Have you seen these? Let me grab mine. I don't think she's got any at the moment. These little books. See these little books? These are great because if you've got any kind of die cuts with adhesive on the back, you can keep them in there and then you just take them off and use them. See, I haven't used those yet. So these are great. Absolutely great. That's on Mama Makes. Little name check for Lottie. She's one of the producers if you don't know who Lottie is. And she's got her own little business as well. Again, these are 2mm tape. How are we doing? Just gone half past. That's not too bad. The others are really quickies. So let's see if we can get this straight. I'm going to move it just to one side so I can see. There we go. And then a bit of glue on this one. So this is I think this is a card you could make for a guy or a girl, wherever you want, or just send in. You know, it doesn't have to be this particular sentiment. It can be any sentiment you want. Does that look straight? Hopefully it is. It does look straight, doesn't it? All right, okay. There's our first one, all done. Yeah, definitely. These are great because it's very hot. Who am I responding to? June. Yes, because these you'd normally throw these away, but it's so much easier to stamp on something that's actually the right width, because trimming that down is an absolute nightmare. So this is the perfect size to stamp those little sentiments on. So we're all going to be keeping little offshoots like that now, aren't we? I don't want to put that somewhere where I'm going to lose it now. So there's our first demo all done. I will bring in my other samples at this point and show you. This is another one I've done with the hearts, and just cut an aperture. You can see those lovely little scalloped edges, and it's just a card. Just put some adhesive on the back there, just like we've done, and that's very simple to do. This is from the stamp and die set, but actually not using the die to cut the flowers out, and one of the sentiments. Here's your crystal lingo. I've posted this one today on Facebook, and this is embossed with white, and then I've got brush shows over the top of it and just trimmed it down, and that's a DL card. That's a really nice proper card. I like this one, and hopefully I'll get to demo something like this with the happy. I've just stamped the happy 3 times, and then I've done it a 4th time on a separate piece of card and raised it. So I think that's a really nice birthday card. This is your pinpoint plate, just with some of the circles on it and a big hugs with a bit of mirror card. Another brusher one, very, very simple, with the knotted diamond background. Bit of paper piecing on the background for that one, and then a heart. Another simple little card, but different colourway. I've had that paper in my stash for yonks. And then this was a demo that I did last year with the scene ones. We also had the house last time, and that's the snowflake pinpoint in the background. But obviously you can see 2 of the layers that we've got on tomorrow's show. Then another one. All variations on the thing, and I'm going to show you how to do this background as well in a minute, as well with the big plate, which I can't remember the name of. I've immediately forgotten. Right, so those are my samples, and obviously the one we've just done, wherever that might have gone, probably in that tin. Right, next, move on, Julia. Next, we'll make another proper card, and then we'll do a couple of techniques, if that's okay. Unless you need to go and do something else. Oh, I've got to do a bit of die cutting as well. Right. Okay, so this is a very, 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 very simple card. I've got paper here from the Sentimentally Yours Pokers. Oh, I've got those leaves as well. Pokers and Pinstripes. Oh, have I got that? Yes, I have. So I lose flowers like anything. I made some flowers for this card and lost them. I didn't know where they went. Yes, so I've just trimmed it down to size, and we're going to stick that to a piece of black card. Do that first. Where's my glue? There it is. You can make really, really quick and easy cards with these dies. Obviously, they're kind of, I don't know, I call them mojo busters because you don't need to do a lot with them, which is great. We like that. Okay, so that's going on there. Hopefully that's straight. And then we're just going to add our, let me tell you what it's called, because I forgot. Lattice plate, that's what it's called. I'm going to just glue that to it before I put my bottom layer on, before I get in a mess. And these I've not bothered cutting out with the double-sided adhesive because the lines are nice and wide for you to get your glue down. So you don't need, because you know, double-sided adhesive isn't that cheap when you're using a lot of it. So you want to kind of be, I don't know, I say frugal, but I suppose sensible in your usage of it, I suppose. Having said that, if you did cut this out of your double-sided adhesive, you've got all those bits that you can actually just slot in. And this cuts like a dream. All these little bits that come out, all these squares, which you could do some great backgrounds with, incidentally, they just pop out. Just pop out, no problem at all. I'm very impressed. I mean, Memory Box have been going for absolute years, and you know, I've never actually had, before I started working with them last year, I'd never actually had one of their dies, and I'm very, very impressed with them. The quality is exceptional. Right, see if we can get that all stuck. Okay, so there's my background, all done. All we want to do is pop a sentiment on. So I've already cut the backer out from my thanks. And I know it's white, but it does work better in white than in black. So I've got a black one here. That looks like it works, but it doesn't. It doesn't. I've tried it. For me, anyway. So what I need to do is I want to cut out my top bit of my thanks. Where is it? There it is. Because there's a little trick which makes it really easy to stick down. At least when I did it before, it worked. So let's hope it can work this time. Low tap tape. I like the Scotch low tap tape. And we'll pop that through. And all the dies that are on the show will go through one of your small machines. Unless, of course, you want to do a pop-out card or, you know, do your multi-backgrounds, then you might want to go to the bigger machine. Depends on the size of the background that you want to do. Oh, the middle of my A's come out, which is fine. Let's just get rid of this. If you were to keep that little bit of A that I've just thrown away, if you were to keep that, then you could have the negative and use the negative as well, which is really cool to have. Yes, the white is much softer, definitely. Right, okay, so a little trick. Stick. Right, a little trick. Take your glue. Working. You just want a little tiny bit while it's still in the die. So this is instead of using your double-sided adhesive, because if you've got double-sided adhesive on it, you'd probably be wanting to take each letter out individually and pop them in. This is a little bit quicker, I think. because when you cut with double-sided adhesive, it doesn't want to release from the dies quite as easily as it does with normal card, in my experience anyway. Oh, get in there, I don't want you to come out yet. This one's going to make a little liar of me, so this one, I'm not going to faff around with this and try and put it back in again. I'm just going to place this down. So that's going on there. Okay, you can see immediately you put that on the white, it looks really lovely. So now if we turn our thanks over like that and actually poke through the release holes, and hopefully it will release the letters and stick them in place. Don't rush it, do it slowly. Get a little bit of a tease. Are you sticking, matey? Am I the only mad person that talks to their die cuts? There we go. So that for me is a little bit easier and a little bit quicker. So let's pop this now onto our back piece with some more double-sided adhesive. So dark here at the moment. We've got flood warnings in Milton Keynes. We'll be fine where we are because we're not near one of the river or the canal. And, well, the canal's quite close, but we're actually up. We're on higher ground, so we'd be absolutely fine here. Let's just put my top on my glue. And we've had we did have a little bit of snow actually. I can't remember. I think it was one of the days at the weekend, and there was a little bit of snow up by the garage, just on the edge. And that was it. That's all the snow we've had. We're very sheltered. We're very lucky. I hate this backer on this tape. It's funny. Sometimes this tape has really nice backing, and sometimes it has a sticky backing that drives me nuts. Right, so another piece of pure white card. So I think I want the light colour at the top. Do I? Yes, I do. Okay, so that's going on there. Then we're going to pop our thanks on. And am I going to faff around with a little tape? I think it'll look better if we raise it up. I hate to say, I'm sorry. But let's see if we can get away with just putting whole pieces on rather than little pieces. Get off there. On there. Oh, it's too narrow for the whole width. This is where I kind of foam tape it within an inch of its life. I don't like things to come off. That's the problem. That one down there, and where's the other half? There's the other half, and that one's going to go on my H. I'd probably put loads more on there than that, but I'm not going to make you watch me take the backs off 97 million pieces of foam tape. Did you? Yeah. I actually really like. We've been in. How long have we've been in Milton Keynes since Nathan was 2, and he's 24. So, and he's coming up to 25. So must be about 23 years. Gosh, really? That's quite scary, isn't it? I really like Milton Keynes, but for youngsters, it's great because there's, when we're not on lockdown, there's loads and loads of activities for them to do, which is what we liked. So thanks is going there like that. We can line it up against that. See, that immediately I think looks tremendous. And of course, these are your little orchard leaves, and I've cut some of these. And I mean, you could colour these up with a little bit of distress. I'm not going to on this because I'm keeping the whiteness of my card. So we're going to put some down here. And I haven't got any memory box flowers yet, so I'm going to go with Mr. Martin's flowers because I can. And I know we all mix and match our dyes anyway, don't we? I mean, it's just something you have to do, isn't it? You know, there's no point just making a project that just has one thing on when you need something else, one manufacturer when you need something else. So we'll just group some leaves around there, and I've got some, this is from the lighter colour, this is the Elegance flower. That's just going to sit in amongst those leaves there, so I think that makes it really lovely. And then I'm going to put one in the other corner as well. Really feminine card. Let's make sure we have the big one there. We'll have that one there. Wrap around with leaves. They're your finishing touches, aren't they? I have got a more masculine version of this card to do as a demo. Hopefully I'll get to it. I would really love to be able to do all of my demos that I've got prepped. I mean, I got through quite a lot of demos when I did my show on Sunday, but they were all techniques. But I mean, a lot of my cards are quite simple with these dies, but I do have some longer demos to do. Here's my other flower. So this is with the darker colour. This is my smaller flower, and then that's going just on there like that. I think that's a really pretty little card, don't you? Yeah, you can use so many background papers with these. Obviously, you can make your own backgrounds as well. We could put glitter background on like I did in the first demo. But yeah, so we've got those. So now, a couple of techniques with this die. Love this die. You're going to need this die. Remember, this is in the 1 p.m. show. The 1 p.m. show. So I've taken a piece of... this is the watercolour card, and I've purposely cut it inside my die, so it's not got an outside edge. So I've done it in watercolour card because this is a little bit more substantial than using pure white. There is some watercolour card on the show. It's a slightly textured watercolour card from Memory Box, and in fact I did do... yeah, this card here, this is, I don't know if you can see, there's some texture on it. This card here has actually been done on the Memory Box watercolour card, and the Happy one has as well. That one's on the Memory Box watercolour card as well. It's like a linen texture to it. It's quite nice actually. Anywho, this is the Super Smooth from Sentimentally Yours, because I've got loads of this. Because I've only got a little bit of the Memory Box at one. I haven't wanted to use loads of it, which is just silly, isn't it? So I've just picked up just a bit of Distress that I've got, Distress Oxide. This is your dried marigold. And all we're going to do is actually, I haven't tried this before, but I'm sure it's going to work. We're just going to ink through a bit of a background. Oh, moved it. Oh well. Okay, so there's my background. And of course, I'm going to get a bit of a twofer at this because at some point I'll be able to use that. And then we'll just take, and so I get it nice, I might use my stamping platform. I'll take one of the sentiments from the happiness, what's it called? Let's see, All the Happiness, that's what it's called. Think about what I might want to have. Let's have, sending some very special hugs your way. Let's have that one. So I don't make a mess of it, I'm going to actually use my stamping platform. Where's my little one? I want my little one. Where's my little one? Let's pop it in here. So this would be a very, very quick, easy card, because you can reuse that little stencil that you've made out of card for absolutely ages. Obviously, if you're using a wet product, like a spray on top, it's going to, I don't know, maybe warp a bit, maybe, I don't know, but anyway. So let's have that here. And you can use the lines on your stamping platform to check whether you've got it straightish. It looks straightish to me. Again, going with my VersaFine Clair. And there we are, there's our little card. All done. Really simple. Okay. Not rocket science, but really easy. The stamp set, this one is your All the Happiness, it's called. And it's on your memory box shows at 7 and 10 tomorrow. Okay. And do remember, people, that I know I've said this before, when you've got extended delivery from a company and it's not a UK company, it will mean that you've got a limited amount of time to actually order that product. So Memory Box are an American company, so pretty much as soon as the shows are done, so after tomorrow, because the shows are tomorrow, so on Thursday you might not be able to order them because they will be shipped from the States, and they actually look to see you know, how many orders they've got, and that's how many they ship. So you do need to actually order on the day. Right, so this is the final technique I'm going to show you. So this again is our Julie, try and remember the names. Lattice plate. Okay, so this is just cut out of pure white card, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to snip. It doesn't have to be neat. I'm just going to snip these little bits off here at the edge. I don't want to just cut all the way over, or do I? Yeah, yeah, I will. Shall I? Yeah, it's quicker. Right. Don't want that. See, that's why I didn't want to do that. There we go. I'm just getting rid of the outside edge. But unlike before, I do want to make sure I've got a decent size. That's it. Okay. I haven't found a use for all these little offcuts yet, so I'm not going to stress over those little bits. Right, so now I know that people who have been following me for years will know that I really like my weaving. So you can actually weave in and out of this die, which is quite nice. So we can go up and under and up and under. And these strips again are from the Enchanted Polkas and Pinstripes from Sentiment to Yours, and I've trimmed them to 1 inch wide. So 1 inch wide means there's a little tiny gap either side, so that means you'll see whatever colour card that you put underneath if you want to. So then on this one we want to make sure that we see that line, so we're going to go opposite. So we're going to go up there, under here, over the top, underneath, over the top. And I find this kind of thing so therapeutic. I really like it. And it's the same. We always say this, demonstrators on the telly, unless it's something like All and Create, which do revisit their old designs, we pretty much don't bring things on with other companies more than once. So or perhaps twice, and that's it. So you just get to kind of get familiar with the dies and know what you can do with them, or the stamps, and then you're on to the next thing. And so, you know, can be a little bit frustrating, and you know, you don't necessarily get the true potential of it. Can you see how this is going? And then up here, so here on top, I'm going to do the whole thing because then you'll see the whole thing and how it looks. And then over, under. You know that you've done it right, because you should, if you see that one, if you don't see it there, you need to be able to see it here. If you see what I mean, that crossbar. Go underneath. Go on. There we go. Do as you're told. And then we've got over, under, over, and under. And we can trim that bit off there actually, so we can use that as something else. And we'll trim that bit off there. And this one, will that be big enough? Not quite. That one, this one will be big enough. So being frugal on here. And then for these little bits on the end, so for that one I need to show that. So what I would do is I glue that in place like that. Let's do that. There's no point saying it and not doing it really, is there? So a little bit of glue on the back. Oh. And we glue that in place. And do glue it so that you've still got that little tiny gap. So it looks like it's the rest, like all the others. Oh. And then on this one, on this side, we need to be over. So we want to glue that to the top. And I've still got a couple of strips left. Another one. So obviously you could multicolour this. I mean, this is graduated, but I haven't actually thought about the graduation. If you're thinking about the graduation, start here and move across. I started in the middle so you guys could see exactly where I was going. Okay, so that's then glued on there. So all then you need to do is, like on this one, is cut yourself a frame, pop it on top. I've got my black mat underneath so we can see the black coming through in the little gaps. And then I've added one of the knotted rings, and I've added the hugs. And so a little simple technique, but I think that's a really cool thing to do. Yeah, I really like it. Yeah. It is. It's really it is really relaxing, and it's actually really kind of satisfying when you realise that something that you like to do is possible with a die. So there's kind of a couple of techniques. In fact, there's another one there. So a few different ways that you can use that same die set. So I hope that's been useful for you. So don't forget, the shows are tomorrow at 7 AM and 10 AM with the same product, and then at 1 PM with these products that you've just seen. Do join me, please join me at 7 o'clock. Set your alarm, get your pyjamas on, get yourself a cup of tea and your breakfast, and sit and watch me. And email in if you're watching as well. And if you've used any memory box dies in the past, it'd be great to see your pictures as well. Yeah, so thanks for joining me, and share this video with all your friends so everybody gets to know the wonderful memory box dies. And I'll see you on the telly box tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.